Welcome to the Everyday Citizens Tactical Podcast, Episode 34, Human Trafficking Awareness Range Day. My name is Jeremy, and as always, I will be your host. Today I'm joined by both the founders of the HTA Range Day, Justin and Dillon. Both of these gentlemen had run events solo in the past before coming together to host what is a great event for training, networking, and most importantly, donating towards a worthy cause. So, sit back and let's dive into what the HTA Range Day is all about.
Tell me turn it down and I'ma only turn up louder. Call me what you wanna, but you can't call me no coward. Straight the numbers, we the people, still the ones with power. Fighting fire with fire, time to take back what is ours. Tell me turn it down and I'ma only turn up louder. Call me what you wanna, but you can't call me no coward. Straight the numbers, we the people, still the ones with power. Fighting fire with fire, time to take back what is ours.
All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. And Justin, Dillon, thank you guys for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy.
You guys, Justin is a returning guest, but you guys are the first three-man podcast that we've done.
Oh.
Everybody else has been one-on-one, so we're going to have a group conversation today. Whoever wants to go first, you guys can fight for it, but if you guys want to, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I guess I'll go.
I guess
I'm Dillon. I am more or less the on-the-ground operations guy for Human Trafficking Awareness Range Day.
And my name is Justin. I handle most of the logistics for Human Trafficking Awareness Range Day. This will be our second year doing this event. And Dillon and I each previously ran an event prior to this, and I can get into more into that in just a few moments, but we figured out that there's a greater cause compared to what we were doing previously, and we kind of joined forces. So we both divvy up and do a couple different things with it, but in the end, it's usually a pretty good time and a good success.
So did you guys know each other before you teamed up for HTA, or was that kind of like the beginning of the partnership?
Unfortunately. No, I'm kidding. No, we've known each other, I would say now, probably about 2.5, 3 years, Dillon?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, like most other friendships within the more tactical shooting space, it started out as being a more one-line friendship through Instagram. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, it kind of grew from there.
Yeah, I attended... I want to say it was your second year event, because I wasn't at the first one, so I think that would have been like 2021.
2020 was the first one, so yeah, 2021 would have been the second. So yeah, probably about 3 years now we've known each other.
Yep.
Nice. So. You guys both mentioned prior events. Justin, what was your first event?
Yeah. So actually, my event was called Deliver Fund Range Day. And it was actually inspired by Dillon's event. And we had, our first year was in September of 2022. We had about 20 people come out for it, which was really great for our first year event. And essentially we had 3 to 4 instructors who were going out. So it was a round robin type event that everyone got hands-on doing pistol shooting, rifle shooting, vehicle engagements, and a little bit of nighttime work. Up here in Ohio, and it was just the cause was obviously, if you're not familiar with what Deliver Fund does, they help combat human trafficking. So all the money raised goes into Deliver Fund, which is a nonprofit, and they funnel that for resources, right? Because intelligence is really big. They can't do anything without intel. Whether it's technology for intel gathering, whether it's also supporting other police departments in order to educate them on the signs of human trafficking, what to do when you have human trafficking victims, and everything along those lines. So I was really passionate about that event. That organization, and I reached out to them and said, hey, I want to put on this event for you guys. I want 100% of the proceeds to go to you. And they were all for it. So, it was the hardest part of my event for me was telling people, like, I'm not actually affiliated with Deliver Fund. I had a lot of people who were like, oh, you guys are doing great. It's like, well, I am a separate entity that they are allowing me to use their name to donate to them. And we had a really great, successful year. I think with only 20 people there, I still want to say we were in the ballpark of like $5 to $7 grand proceeds sent over to them, which was really a big deal. We just had a great group of people there who showed up. A lot of great friends. Dillon was there. He came and supported me, and he brought a few friends along, and it was a really good event up here in Ohio.
Yeah, that was one of my first big events that I attended, and that ECT kind of made a trip to, and obviously got to meet Maddie, got to meet Joey, and also got to meet Dillon. So definitely a great event all around, but then also just the connections and friends that I've made since then has stuck for years.
It's kind of funny looking back. I was poking through the post on the page from last year, and I had reposted that video from Maddie's class at Deliver Fund Range Day. And it was kind of funny. You and I are standing right next to each other, and now here we are.
Yep. And then, Dillon, you want to talk a little bit about your predecessor events?
Yeah, sure. So credit where credit's due. My event was actually also inspired by somebody else. And I guess that's a good, hey, take what we're doing and apply it to whatever part of the country that you're in, whether it be for the same cause or a different cause, but like do some good in the world. Anyway, a really good friend of mine named Mitchell, he runs Hiram House Productions. He does all the filmography and photography for Orion Training Group now. But a friend of his had a loved one pass away because of cancer. And he organized a range day in his backyard, and he just had a whole bunch of people get together, and we all just ran drills all day, shot, smoked cigars, and drank whiskey in the pool. Just got all the guys together for a fun range day and had a great time. And all of that money went to the American Cancer Society. And he made it clear right off the gate, he planned for this to only be a one-time thing. So I'm sitting in the airport waiting for my flight home, and it kind of dawned on me like, hey, I can do that. Mm-hmm. And at the time, Forward Observations Group was just starting to come around and was making big waves, making money for raising money for the Green Beret Foundation. And I had heard on a podcast, I believe it was Kevin Owens, who used to work for Fieldcraft and was involved with a lot of their content, heard him on a podcast talking about the disability within the Green Beret community, mm-hmm. and how the VA wasn't equipped to properly handle the kinds of injuries that these guys were having, whether it be TBIs or just the extent of the injuries that they had sustained. So I kind of put two and two together and thought, why can't I do something like that? So the first event happened a couple months later in October of 2020. And it was basically the same thing. I got a whole bunch of dudes together at a range that I used to be a member at in upstate Pennsylvania. And the first event, I think we had 10 people show up, only 2 of which I didn't already have their contact saved in my phone.
Nice.
Like, it was literally just all of my friends. And then like 2 dudes that we randomly happened to pick up through Instagram. Within the next year, also, again, out at Mitchell's, I met Jared, the owner of Orion Training Group. And this was, I believe, the second official class that he had taught under the name Orion Training Group. Mm-hmm. And we ended up striking off a friendship that I'm very fortunate is still, thriving to this day. But his involvement, along with a very new hire of Orion Training Group at the time, Blake Flannery, those 2 really helped to catapult my event. I think we went from like 10 or 12 people, whatever it was the first year, to 30 or 40, then to 60, moving up through the years and continuing to raise more money. And we eventually outgrew the facility that we were at. So I ended up getting hooked up with some other former Green Berets who had a property out near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Ben Franklin Range. Mm-hmm. There was some kind of there's a video kind of talking about it on the page. It's about 5 minutes long, so I'll save the full explanation. If you're that interested, you can go watch that. But there was a rift between some of the groups there, and the guys at the Green Beret Foundation were not fans of the people who owned the property. And they respectfully told me that they had chosen to not accept any donations raised at that facility, which I think is stupid. But I ended up calling Justin that day because at that point he was running Deliver Fund Range Day. Mm-hmm. And I knew that he'd be able to relate to how big of a blow that was, and just to kind of look for that calm voice of reason to help me gather my own thoughts. And I believe it was later on that night he called me back and said, like, hey, maybe let's talk about joining forces on this. And that kind of brings us to where we are now.
So the other part, sorry to interrupt, that I forgot to mention is the range that we hosted Deliver Fund Range Day at. We could have fit a few more people in there, but we would not be able to host the event that we have currently there. Mm-hmm. But due to some legal problems in the jurisdiction it's located, they filed a cease and desist for all pistol and rifle shooting at that range. So we found out in May of last year that they weren't allowed to shoot pistol and rifle due to the township that it's in. They're like, yeah, we don't want that happening. And they're still in a legal battle. As far as I know, we're 12 months in and still can't even go there and shoot. So,
which is ridiculous because that range is like just pinned in behind a bunch of farms and whatnot.
It's phenomenal.
That was
great
nice
range.
Sad.
Yeah, so. Dillon said it best. Justin is definitely our calm voice of reason. Whenever we need a mature adult to talk to, Justin is that person.
He's the adult in the room. That is for sure.
Oh boy.
Well, I'm glad you guys definitely were able to come together and make, I think, a bigger, better event that has a lot of growth potential.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, we work really well together. There's a little bit of butting heads, but it's never been from a place of anger. Mm-hmm. And we're always able to talk through it, find solutions. It's been a really good partnership.
What would you guys say probably your biggest challenge has been working together for this event?
I think personally, communication, because of the fact that we are both working more than full-time day jobs, mm-hmm. having the time to what an issue that could, or not even an issue, but like a problem that could be solved in a day for us might take a week before we actually have the time to sit down and talk about it and come to what we think would be the best solution for the event.
I would agree. And just Jeremy, you understand this from your previous experiences and running a company, being a business owner and working in the fire service, right? Communication is always the downfall of any great organization and event. So a lot of times, like Dillon said, we do butt heads. And sometimes there's not as much give and take as maybe there should be on both sides. So like, that has been the hardest thing. And it's like, hey, I don't want to step on toes. At the same time, we need to make sure we get this done and following up with it. So communication, even though we text pretty regularly, sometimes it's just like, hey man, we're both passionate about this cause. We both want to see this event continue to grow. I think a lot of people would love to see like an explosion in growth, but like, again, the calm, cool, collected part of me is like, hey, we need steady growth because we want this to be something that continues on for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, even if Dillon and I aren't involved with it. And if we grow too quickly, I've seen other events implode, essentially. So like that's been one thing, is just the communication aspect of it.
And that specific issue has probably been our biggest point of contention, at least for this year. Last year we had oversold we created more spots for attendance at the event than what we filled. by a pretty significant margin. So we had classes that were partial, near empty at some points. My thought process was, hey, now we've had this event, people know about it. If everybody tells a friend and brings a friend, then we'll have no problem selling out the event at the same numbers of participants that we had planned for last year. And Justin is more a fan of the slow progressive growth, and there's merits to both sides. And like he said, we're both extremely passionate about the cause, and we're both trying to do what we think is best. But sometimes we have a little bit of trouble agreeing on the best way to get there. But compromise, making stuff work, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
What would you guys say your probably most favorite or what has been the best thing so far about the experience?
The day of. Leading up to it sucks. Like
it's awful. It's awful. Like we're even as good friends as you can even say brothers, right? Sometimes we're like at each other's throats, and we're kind of in our own corner for a minute, still trying to work through things. But the day of is great when you get people here, especially that like I've never met in person, and then I talk to, and they're like, "Hey." That's always a great feeling. And they're like, hey, I follow your page. You got really good content. I wish you would post more. Or like, we've been talking for months and months and months via DM. And it's like, oh, this is really cool that we actually finally get to meet. So I think that's really cool.
I mean, the actual event itself still isn't like, we don't get to experience the event that we are really building. At least as far as how last year went. Justin was in the check-in, like the registration trailer, until probably 2 p.m, counting money, making sure that all the I's were dotted and the T's were lined. And I'm running around, bouncing in and out of the different classes, just making sure that everyone has what they need. There's no kind of safety things going on. So like all of these awesome classes that we're going to be getting into here, what we're offering this year, we don't even really get to participate in, but the stress.
We don't at all.
Yeah. The most fun I might get to have is like if I had popped into like Maddie's pistol class, and they were running a drill last year. And one of my buddies was in the class, and he's like, yo, this is my time. Try to beat me, and handed me a mag, and I just ran it real quick before I had to run off to the next. That was like the only time I got to shoot during the day.
That's the unfortunate reality of like planning big events or big classes, is that you never really get to experience it. You're just go, stress all day long.
Yeah, and I think I can speak for Justin and I both when I say that the next couple of months leading up to the event in September of this year are going to be extremely stressful for both of us. And then there will come a point coming soon where a lot of that stress is gone and we're just solving the problems. But then there's a stress that comes in the days immediately leading up to the event. But then that feeling of like when you wake up Saturday morning to go open up registration, what's done is done, what's not isn't. And it is what it is. And you just kind of have like this weight off of, at least I felt that last year, just kind of having this weight off of your shoulders, being like, if it's not done now, it's not getting done.
Yeah. I think
we're done.
Yeah. It's definitely, you guys will definitely have a little bit more of like a jump start this year, and hopefully things go a little smoother, because last year you guys were kind of stressed for time because you guys both kind of ran into the unfortunate situations. You're trying to figure out how to make the event work. This year you guys have a lot more leeway.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think besides the leeway too, we're very fortunate that we have a lot of people who want to also be involved and help, which is huge. I mean, obviously in the beginning, I don't know if it was on the air, but like you're offering, some of your services to us, and some people, which I think is really cool, who were involved in the very first one of Dillon's events they're coming to help. They're coming to staff it. And it's going to be huge in order to have those people there, which is great. So I think, and that's another great part of it too.
Awesome. What do you guys, let's dive into the event a little bit and try to gauge people's interest. What general overview, what can guys expect when they come, planning to participate in one of these events?
So
Nice.
Basically, this is a charity range day, right? Since we haven't said it yet, the dates for this year are September 14th and 15th, 2024.
Oh, yeah. That would have been really important before we were like 20 minutes in.
Yeah, right. At
make sure that goes in like the title and the comments. Like,
it'll be everywhere.
Maybe the
bold
intro
it
if you haven't recorded it yet.
Bold it, underline it, highlight it. At Ben Franklin.
Yes, at Ben Franklin Range in Templeton, Pennsylvania, which is about 45 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. But this is essentially a community range day where you are able to come and attend classes that a lot of people have a lot of interest in. I mean, there's everything from shooting to tactics, from handguns to long range, and you pay a flat entry fee to attend the event, and that money goes to Deliver Fund to combat the cause that Justin and I, and we hope that you are as well, extremely passionate about putting a dent in human trafficking here in the U.S.
Yeah, absolutely. And it definitely, I think the issue as a whole doesn't get highlighted enough. It gets
actively suppressed.
It does, both from the big them, whoever them is, but I think even sometimes we kind of get wrapped up in like the memes or the jokes about it, like hang the human traffickers, like stuff like that. But then like the seriousness of and the gravity of it kind of gets away from us sometimes, like if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And it can also, at least speaking from my perspective with organizing it, being more focused on the actual operations of the event itself, sometimes I find it necessary to take a step back and remember what the cause really is. Like I find myself focusing on organizing a incredible, fun event and kind of forgetting for a couple minutes that this is the bigger cause behind it.
Sure.
And the event is kind of structured so that, we're not going to make you depressed the entire time by talking your ear off about human trafficking. Like, this is an event for you to come, shoot guns with your friends, and learn some stuff that you're interested in for an incredible value. But that overarching theme is that all of this money is going to support the charity that we have set out to raise money for.
I don't remember them personally. Does anybody come from Deliver Fund to these events?
So last year, and the year before, the intent was to maybe have somebody there at my first event, but it just never got put on their radar. And last year, it was kind of, I don't want to say it was thrown together, but logistically, like it kind of was an oversight on my part to like, hey, you guys should come out to this. But one of my next phone calls this week, with my contact with them, if they can make it happen, they're going to send somebody out. And Dillon and I have both expressed interest in that. I mean, we were able to donate a substantial amount of money to them last year. I believe it's like $18,200 and some dollars.
$18,291.97.
Thank you, because I don't even remember it off the top of my head.
And that was, I got a letter from the CEO, only because I was the one who made the deposits. So I got a letter from them, but they are interested in coming out to support our event this year. So that is on the docket to try and get people from Deliver Fund out there. Maybe, have them speak, have them attend events, and just be a part of it, which will be fantastic to have them out there.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely think that would be really cool. Even just briefly, like Dillon said, you don't want to talk everybody's ear off, but it would be cool to hear them kind of come and give a brief speech about what Deliver Fund is and kind of like what is the boots on the ground doing at Deliver Fund.
Or even better than that, the impact that these donations are going to have on their operations.
For sure, absolutely.
But do that right before we start selling raffle tickets, so people buy a lot of them.
Buy tons of raffle tickets, and that's another thing. We haven't even hit on that yet. All that raffle money that goes, directly to Deliver Fund. There's some really cool stuff at the raffles.
Yeah, man, we've been absolutely blessed. That's something that I started with my original event, was trying to find companies who are willing to, as a way for us to generate some extra revenue, um, donate some products for us to raffle off. So currently there is absolutely nothing on a raffle table for this year because we've been more focused on getting the event up off the ground. But yeah, there's going to be some pretty cool stuff for the past 2 years, the last year of my event, and then the first year of this event, Human Trafficking Awareness Range Day. We've had Geisley uppers and a couple of Geisley triggers on the table both years. Barrels from Criterion Barrel, barrel of choice for the AR-15 platform. You tell them what you want, they give it to you. Everything from holsters to lights, eye pro, ear pro, all kinds of stuff. A medical kit, thanks to you.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I give those not only for your guys' events in the past, but we also donate trauma IFACs to Maddie's events with the Red Letter Project. Every event they do, they give away a trauma IFAC.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's kind of become like our staple for like events that we support. We give away IFACs.
I like that.
Awesome. Yeah, the raffle is definitely kind of fun, especially at the end of the first day when everybody's kind of got like class time done, and then it's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go try to get stuff. Everybody likes stuff.
Everybody does like stuff.
Do you guys want to give any sneak peeks as to instructors or types of classes that you guys will be putting out there? Any teasers?
Yeah, sure. So it should come as no surprise since I've mentioned them 3 times already. My boys at Orion Training Group, Jared, the owner, is going to be doing a duo CQB class. So that's 2-man. You can run dry guns. It's non-live fire. You can just run your guns dry, bring a Mantis system, airsoft, or you can also do force on paper. The facility has blue bolts and simunitions available to you for a price that they determine because it's theirs. I don't know it offhand. But you can rent a blue bolt and you can rent or purchase simunitions through them and shoot targets in the shoot house, which is an opportunity that a lot of people rarely find themselves having.
For sure.
Another instructor with Orion Training Group, two more, Blake and Alex, they're going to be doing a compressed version of their small unit maneuver, which is one of the most impactful classes that I've personally ever taken. It's basically going to be going over patrolling, moving a unit tactically through an area. That'll be a really good class that a lot of people are gonna eat up. We have some long range. We have some land nav, camouflage and concealment. We have a pistol class. Joe Fasanella from the Trinity Training Center, owner of Gray Fighter Gear, is going to be doing his really long name. I will butcher this, but essentially his counter-terror carbine operator course, which is another really great course.
Let me take a moment to highlight literally anything Joey puts on, guys. If there's like a class that you should really take one of Joey's classes. That man is phenomenal at everything he teaches.
Joe's a great dude, man. And
He's
actually,
fantastic.
I'm going to drop a little teaser here, but I'm wearing it right now, is he's helping us with hats for the event this year. That will be a fundraiser. Nice. Available to purchase, help us generate some more revenue for the cause. And then the host of this podcast happens to be teaching a course at our event this year, if he would like to talk about that.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a radio class. A lot of people have been messaging us kind of like on Instagram with like comms questions. So this is going to be kind of like a dry run to the communications courses that we're hopefully going to be launching in 2025. It's not necessarily super like technical based because we're not trying to numb people's minds for hours about the crazy in-depth ways that communications works, but it's more of like a preparedness oriented class. Like, here are the basics to different types of communication equipment, but here's how you write a communications plan. Here's how you find resources on things like, repeaters and stuff like that in your area, and kind of just bringing everybody to light more about like the importance of communications and how to extend their abilities with radios past just the portable radio they keep on their chest rig or their plate carrier that they really don't know how to use.
Awesome.
To circle back, right, and just because Dillon kind of brushed over it, we do have a pistol class as well. One of my really good friends who runs, it's called RAS Group, Reticulate Activating Systems Group, is a very good friend of mine. I've known him for a few years. He's a firearms instructor, pistol instructor, and we're very happy to have him coming out to the event. He's attended my event, and he also attended it last year. And I can say I've personally taken classes from him, and the way he teaches, doesn't matter what skill level, and doesn't matter, if the class is full or there's a couple, he really focuses to make sure everyone's leaving with something. And I can definitely say that the classes I've taken from him, every single person there, it's measurable to see that they leave. So even though it's going to sound like it's a basic pistol class, he teaches it to the level that's there. So, it's going to be awesome to have him there. I know everyone, every event seems to have some sort of pistol event. We had Maddie last year, which we love Maddie.
Maddie's great.
And we will have her back in the future. So it's great. We just want to, at least for me, have multiple people here and bring other people who have also been involved in the event into the realm of what we're bringing to the table. So very honored to have him at this event.
I think it's important to note as a blanket statement that any instructor that we are bringing into this event has been vetted. We have likely trained with them as individuals in the past. They're all professionals. They're all, at the top of their field. We're not, any instructor that we are bringing into this event is a professional, because at the end of the day, Justin and I are organizing this. The instructors are truly the ones who allow this event to happen. They are the primary factor for safety at the event. I mean, above the individual level, these guys are acting as their own range officers, handling safety. So we need to be keeping our staff as being professionals at what they do. So it's a safe bet that if you ever in the future see a course or an instructor being highlighted at HTA Range Day, they are a professional. And on that note, I guess would be the right way to say it. One more class I forgot to mention, we're going to be having a company teaching a mechanical breaching course at the event this year. Rule Breaching, I think, is the official name of their company. It might be Rule Tech Breaching. It's slipping my brain at this exact moment. But these guys are master breachers from SF and the law enforcement world, like absolute top of their game. And that's why they're at our event.
Is this rule breaching like RULE or RURAL?
RUHL.
HL. Oh, okay. I'm going to look them up while we chat. Hopefully we can highlight them a little more.
Absolutely.
Rule breaching. I might be able to find them. I might not be able to find them.
They're very popular for making some of the highest end breaching tools and also breachable doors for training purposes.
Okay, here they are.
Yeah, but
Rule Inc.
Rule
Inc.
Thank you. I am so sorry to Dillon at Rule Inc. for forgetting the rest of your company's name. But they're actually an incredible opportunity to have them at HTA this year, and they wanted to do this. We actually weren't sure if we were going to be able to fit them into the schedule, and they were like, hey, if you don't, we're still going to be there as attendees because we're about this cause, which was super cool. But these guys, it's a great opportunity because these guys are so busy with law enforcement breaching contracts, like to teach breaching to law enforcement officers, that they simply don't have the time to be teaching civilians. They do on occasion, but it's not very frequent at all. So to be able to get access to their instruction is an incredible opportunity that we are lucky and fortunate and grateful to be able to extend to those attending HTA Range Day this year.
Awesome. That definitely sounds like a really kind of stacked instructor cadre list for what essentially is kind of like a day and a half, event.
A day and a half to 2 days. There are a couple courses that will run until 5 on Sunday, but we also leave the option open that if you want to be done at 1 Sunday, you can be.
Sure. Gotcha.
And that way people have that time to drive home, whatever the case may be.
How do the classes kind of break down sign-up wise for guys? Do guys have to sign up for a whole day class? Are there half-day classes? How do you guys kind of plan this? Because there's so many instructors.
So I'm about to post all of that on the Instagram page in the coming days. So now would be a good time to point out, if you're not already, you should be following HTA_Range_day on Instagram. I'm also the one managing that. So if you have any questions about anything and you message the page, I will be the one answering that. But we are going to have a mix. So the CQB course and the compressed version of small unit maneuver are both 2-day classes. So if you sign up for that, that is all that you do for the duration of the event, as far as class time goes. Then there's going to be a handful of 8-hour classes that you can choose to take either on Saturday or Sunday. And those are the long range, which is Saturday only. I think land nav is 8 hours.
Land nav is Saturday.
Only. And then there's a camo and concealment, which is essentially building hides and stalking, not your ex, stalking like stalk lanes, sniper stuff. And that will be Sunday only, and that's also an 8-hour class. And then there's a selection of 4-hour classes for the event as well, which the shooting classes, the mechanical breaching, you then you can take a couple of those, I guess is what we're getting at. So you could do long range on Saturday and then mechanical breaching on Sunday. Or you could do red dot pistol and mechanical breaching on Saturday and the camouflage and concealment as an 8-hour class on Sunday.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunity for exposure, I guess would be the best way to put it. Really, and that's kind of like what is great for this event is it's not necessarily full classes from these instructors, but you get a little taste from a lot of different companies, a lot of different instructors, and it can kind of help gauge yourself if you're a person that likes to take a lot of training courses on the civilian side. It's kind of like, all right, well, next year I'm going to plan to take this guy's class in the spring, then I'm going to look for this guy in the fall, so on and so forth.
Absolutely. And circling back really quick to actually like building your schedule when you book the classes that you want to attend at the event. A good analogy is planning your classes for an upcoming semester in college. Is a really good way to put it. It's like, this is the time that you have available to you for these 2 days. Fill it with whatever fits in those time slots. It's your heart's desire. Yeah, that's kind of the best analogy that I can give to that. It's kind of like planning your next semester's courses in college.
Very nice. Is there any other little tidbits of information or any teaser stuff you guys want to put out there to gauge guys' interest?
I mean, it really is. It's kind of what you put into it. I know that's kind of cliche to say, but really, kind of how Dillon said with scheduling it, we do it so there's enough people that it makes the class fun and entertaining, and there's enough participation in it. So, in this class, this event's always ever evolving, too. So we took a lot of the feedback we got last year to try and improve things compared to like even the first year of the event. And, I think we always talk about this whole community aspect of what we have going on. And I think this year, I don't want to get into too much detail about it, but we really want to bring everyone together. So, we have basically like 8-hour days or 2 4-hour days. So that leaves the evening on Saturday. And we're still actively kind of planning some of that stuff, but we want to be able to have people who can get together. They can make those connections. They can put names to faces, like people they may have talked to on the internet. And it's just, that's something we're really going to put out there for this year. And I think it'll be good for everyone.
One of the coolest parts about the event from last year was and this will be continuing again this year, but the host facility, Ben Franklin Range, does allow on-site camping. And we designate a camping area. And what unfolded was the most beautiful madness. You got the guys who just want to sleep or kind of tucked off in the corner. And then there's dudes who started a campfire, and half the guys camping are down there hanging out. They're drinking a couple beers, passing around cigars, having a great time. So there's definitely a big community aspect with it. And we do highly encourage that you come and camp on site.
That's what I was going to ask after that was, what could guys look for lodging-wise and what their options were? Because obviously Ben Franklin's tucked out there.
Yeah, there ain't a whole lot as far as lodging goes. You can get, if you are someone who requires a hotel room, the town of Katanning is about 30 minutes away. You can find hotels and stuff there. I've heard that there's a handful of Airbnbs in the area. Ben Franklin does have a lodge on site, and I'm sorry, we booked it for our instructors, so they have a place to sleep when they travel to come here to teach at this event. So the lodge is off limits for attendees. Ben Franklin tells me that there will be, hookups for power, and I think I don't know how RVs or like camper stuff works, but there will be like hookups for RVs and campers on site this year. And then also bring a tent, bring something to cook some food with, or run out into town in the evening, grab some food, come back.
Because the sandwiches will go fast.
Yeah. Yes, they will.
You may not get one, and then you're sad.
We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try and account for that this year a little bit better. That was a nice, pleasant surprise from Ben Franklin. So we're gonna try and account for that this year if we can.
Awesome.
Yes. For Saturday evening, this is not confirmed yet at all. Please, nobody text me. I'm not going to say that because you will, just to do it because I said not to. But we would like to try to arrange for food trucks to be on site for Saturday evening.
Nice.
So the guys can, whatever it is, barbecue or the chicken tenders and fries, but you don't have to leave site. You can continue to stay and hang out and participate while having some hot food for you.
Will you guys, I guess if you guys are trying to do that, do you guys intend to have like any vendor set up guys can look forward to? Have you guys talked about that at all? Sorry if I put you on the spot.
Yeah, we have, and it's something that is currently kind of still up in the air. We're trying to figure out the best way to implement it. But yeah, we are going to try to, but at the very least, I think this year we are going to be trying to implement a big bonfire.
Ooh,
so
nice.
Guys can at least come out. Everyone can gather around with some adult beverages, hang out. Please, no loaded guns that we can see while you are indulging in an adult beverage.
Nods and campfires.
Yep, nods and campfires and beers with the boys. And we would like to, at the same time as that is happening, have some vendor booths set up from some of our sponsors that you can come and check out some of their products in person. And then go keep hanging out around the campfire with your boys, munching on your chicken tenders from the food truck.
Nice.
That's the goal. It's still in the works, but that's the goal.
Sure. Well, I know I speak for a lot of people when I say I really appreciate what you guys are doing, not only from the perspective of networking people together and then exposing new businesses, but just in general, the cause of the event as a whole is a really good one. And I know, a lot of guys really love what you guys are doing and are really, looking forward to continue to supporting it. I love seeing it grow. And really I think it's nothing but up from here.
That's the plan.
Thank you, man. Yeah. For those who do want to support us, even if you cannot attend the event, be sure to still keep an eye out on the page. We're going to have t-shirts, hats, magazines, maybe some other stuff, some patches that you guys can buy. And they're going to be a little bit more expensive than your, standard run-of-the-mill, but all of those proceeds go right back into what we are raising at the event to get donated to Deliver Fund.
Yep. And if you're a person, who wants to help, wants to donate, and is unable to attend, maybe some of the items specifically are like, hey, that's a little too much for me, and you want to do something else, you can reach out to Dillon or myself and keep on the page, because there will be links. You can donate to it, and that will help us. That'll help. That'll go straight to Deliver Fund. So, I mean, literally every dollar, every instructor, and I don't think we really hit on this, every instructor is there. And if we did, sorry, but they're there and none of them are getting paid.
They're all volunteers.
We have a media company that's coming in that would literally, to shoot an event like this, it would cost a third of our proceeds. They come for free. So it's a really big deal when we get these level of instructors, this cadre together that is this involved, that they're taking a training weekend where they could potentially make thousands of dollars, and they're just doing it for free. And all that data gets collected into the Deliver Fund, So we send Deliver Fund $18,000 last year. But really, this event, I mean, with the number of people we had, the number of classes, the time the instructors came, we had a group come all the way up from Florida. I mean, you're talking anywhere from $45,000 to $50,000 invested in this weekend, that it would cost us to do this. So, I mean, that's almost kind of like raising money in and of itself too. So that's another thing to look at it. So it goes just beyond the money that we are giving to Deliver Fund. There are business owners who are really sacrificing their livelihood for this because they believe in the cause just as much as Dillon and I do.
And something that I kind of want to, end on here, is that Justin and I are two regular dudes. We had no idea what we were doing when we started this. Okay. But we got inspired and we did something about it. If you like this idea, and let's say you live on the other side of the country, you're out there in California, Nevada, Oregon, whatever the case may be, and it's completely impractical for you to do this for yourself or to attend our event, start one. I don't know how Justin feels about it, but you can message me and I'll give you as many pointers as I can. We just want to see the world be a better place. So even if you can't come and help us do that through our event, start your own.
I mean, that's exactly what we did. I mean, Dillon was inspired by someone else. I was inspired by Dillon. And I hope at some point maybe we inspire somebody else. I can actually say when I talked to, again, my contact, she let me know that there was another event, and I can't remember where they held it, because my event, the original Deliver Fund Range Day, was the first one that they had, I don't even want to say sponsored, but they had made mention of, and it inspired somebody else. So, I mean, every year we do this, right? Cumulatively, can't speak, you can see that we are building upon what we donated previously. And then if you guys are inspired and you hold your own event, again, you're contributing to the cause. That's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, it's all about the cause, and it's great to have people who want to do that. Thank you. If you come out, if you get inspired, whatever it is, even just listening to this for, the last 45, 50 minutes, we appreciate it.
Absolutely. There's a quote. I can't remember who said it. I can't remember where it's from, but it essentially says, if you leave this earth having done nothing to benefit your fellow man, what good was your time spent? So do something good to help other people, whether it's attending our event, starting your own, get inspired, do something to benefit your fellow man.
Awesome. Well, Justin, Dillon, a big thank you to both of you guys for coming on. Hopefully this hopes get you guys some more exposure and we can continue to grow the event.
I hope so.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to have us on.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Glad to have you guys on. Like they said multiple times, guys, and it'll be in the link down below, both their social media and all of that. September 14th and 15th. Put it on your calendars right now. All right.
All right.
Gentlemen,
Thanks
that's
again,
all I've
Jeremy.
got. Absolutely.
Thank you, Jeremy.
That's all I've got for episode 34, Human Trafficking Awareness Range Day. As always, train hard, train often.
Tell me turn it down and I'ma only turn up louder. Call me what you wanna, but you can't call me no coward. Strength in numbers, we the people, still the ones with power. Fighting fire with fire, time to take back what is ours. Tell me turn it down and